So I could not do this because if there's one happy hardcore DJ who has had the most influence on how I mix and how I do my DJ sets, it is DJ Sai. And today he's announced that he's retiring from DJing. It would be nice to think that maybe it's a break and he would come back in a few years, but I think he's getting to the age now. He's done it for a long time. It's a lot of traveling. I think tinnitus is involved in it as well. But Sai has decided to retire from DJing. So I just wanted to do a little tribute from me, just because I feel like I want to, because without listening to Sai, I don't know if I would have wanted to be a DJ, because let me tell you why. Sai was always my favourite DJ. His sets were always really creative. Obviously, you've got the scratching, and scratching was something that I always wanted to do, but I was never good enough. Dexterity-wise, my hands didn't do what was in my head. I've said this before, my son is a really good scratcher, and I taught him to be better than me, or I taught him and he was better than me within like a few hours of showing him, just because he had the physical skills. Now, scratching, you've got to understand the mental principles, but it's a physical skill, and it was the same with the guitar. Gabe was always better on a guitar straight away, even though I was teaching him. And my day job is personal training, and I see this a lot, where a lot of it comes down to your physical skills, and I've never been particularly physically very dexterous or anything like that, so I always wanted to be able to scratch like Sai and like some of the hardcore DJs that I was hearing back in the day, and I could never really do it. I could do a little bit. I was, better than someone who couldn't scratch, but never to that level. And he was always one of the DJs who I really looked up to, and I thought, you know what, his sets are so creative. But it wasn't just the scratching, it was the way he would take chances and take risks. So you had other DJs who people would think are really consistent and tight mixers, and Sai was good, but he would always take a bit of a risk. He'd whack something in and kind of tweak it as it went along to make it work, and he was always a bit adventurous. Imagine like a footballer who would try things. It wouldn't necessarily always be absolutely perfect. So it was an example of, so I would say Slipmatt was something like, I don't know, David Beckham, who would always, really consistent, whereas Sai was a bit more of, I don't know, Matt Letizia, or somebody who would try something really exciting. And as much as I love Slipmatt and Brisk and Vinyl Groove and all these Hixie, all these top DJs, Dougal, try not to miss anyone out, but you know what I mean. Sai, for me, was always the one who would do something that was a little bit risky, wasn't going to, potentially had a chance of not quite going right, and you had to tweak it as you went along. But his mixes were always so experimental and creative, and add that to the scratching, and he was always the kind of DJ that I would or I did aspire to be, someone who would try something and just have fun doing it. It was his sets were always real fun, and it's going to be, for me, it's going to be a big miss, because like I said, he was always the DJ that I would have liked to have been had I been good enough, but I wasn't good enough. I couldn't scratch like that, and I had to concentrate on production, and I think I found my niche with that one. So there's a little story here with a DJ Sai tune. What we got in the background here, we got Cape Fear here, but there's a DJ Sai tune, and when I first got into happy hardcore, one of my friends, and I didn't know happy hardcore then, I wasn't really into any kind of dance music, but one of my mates got me into it, and there was a tune that just kind of stuck with me, and it's a really simple tune, but it was always the one that I would always request, and it was always, that's Dan's tune. I remember requesting it on a pirate radio station in Bradford called PCR, and we were all just sitting around the room, and our friend played it. He said, this one's for Dan, who's sitting in the corner asleep. And it was literally, I was sitting in the corner asleep. It was so funny because the way he said it, he didn't even, it was before social media, he didn't know what I was doing, but it was like, this is for that, because I was always in the corner like half asleep. So I remember it being played on this PCR, this pirate radio station. But what really, the big memory I have of this tune is that I was asking my friend for it. We had it on a CD. I think it was DJs Unite Volume 3. It was on there, and I was asking for this tune, and he kept saying, no, I'm not playing it. It's rubbish. And because I didn't know the tune well enough, all I knew was the main bit. And I was getting really narked because he wouldn't play it, and everyone's sort of must have been nudging each other because they knew it. And I remember him saying, "Do you know what? It's rubbish, and I'm not playing it." And the worst thing about it is it goes like this. And he just pointed at the speaker at the point that the main bit kicked in. It had been going for like a minute, building up to it, and they were winding me up. And I was like, oh my God, love this tune to bits. So if there's one tune that I would like to play in recognition of DJ Sai and everything he's brought to the hardcore scene over the last 35 years, it's this one. And to be honest, I think it's a really good tune to say thank you. So this is Cheddar 3. DJ Sai, nobody does it better. So at this point, my mate's saying, I'm not playing it, it's rubbish, I don't like it. And the reason I don't like it is that it goes like this. Love these stabs. One of my favourite stabby breakdowns ever. Check out the bass. Did you hear that bass in that last little bit? The melody. I know it's a bit of an oxymoron, but the melody that was being played with the bass, just I love that to bits. In the background, innocuous, not really at the forefront, but there was so much creativity there going on with the bass. Love that to bits. Now just hit it with the brakes. So, DJ Sai, thank you so much for the music. Nobody does it better, and you certainly are the best. Cheers, dude.